It has been an eventful week here at Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. We have several hundred new subscribers to the channel, and I would like to just say welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining. Now, one of the reasons for this sudden growth in the channel was a video I did earlier this week in which I ranted at Plarium and I decried their dishonest practices and their exploitation of us as a player base. Now, you should know that while that is a serious topic and one that I firmly believe in, I also enjoyed it a little bit. I did. It felt good and cathartic to let off some steam in Plarium's direction after all of the frustration that they have caused us over the past several months and even years in some cases. But if you are new to the channel, you should know that is not where I live. That is not my normal type of video. In fact, I am a positive guy and I like to do helpful videos for players. So what this channel is actually about is what I call the free-to-play mentality. And that is a philosophy of playing Raid that is trying to be as successful as possible while spending as little money as possible. Now, if you're a free-to-play player, that's awesome. If you're not, I recommend that you try it. But even if you are a spender of any type, low spender, mid spender, whale or kraken, you are welcome here because unlike Plarium, I want you to game the way that makes you happy. Now, I guess the reason I'm saying all of this is because we have a 2x Ancient Shard event that is going on today, and it is Friday, and on this channel, that is when we pull shards. And it might feel a little bit weird to rant at Plarium one day and then get all excited about pulling shards on another. But I do make a distinction between Raid and the money people at Plarium. In fact, the developers who make this game, thank you. The game is excellent. I enjoy it every day. So today I will be enjoying pulling my shards. I've earned all of them without spending any money. And all of that time and patience and effort is now going to pay off, hopefully, in some fun. Even if I don't hit a champion, it's Friday and I'm going to celebrate. So I hope that sounds good to you. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get started. Quick plug here for the channel. We are in the month of September, where we are pushing for 10,000 subscribers by the end of this month. If you can help us out and subscribe to the channel, we would greatly appreciate it. And as always, smash that like button and consider joining our Discord community. Thanks so much for all the support. Let's get back to those shard pulls. Before we get to the actual shard pulls, there are just a few items I want to address first. Some of them are based on comments I've seen in recent videos. Now, I am a free-to-play player. That is a big part of my channel's identity, but I've sometimes gotten questions about how does a free-to-play player stockpile so many shards of so many different types. I have 118 shards, ancient shards here. I have 25 sacred shards. So the first part of that answer is that I do all of the activities in the game that can reward you with shards. Specifically, I do Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare, and Brutal Clan Boss every day. Sometimes I also do Hard. I also clear Doom Tower Hard Mode and Doom Tower Normal Mode every single month. I also do all of the other things that could potentially reward me with shards in game. The second part of the answer is that I save. I hoard shards and I only spend them when I think I can get very good value. So for instance, I have 25 sacred shards here. I did not pull sacred shards during this 1+1 sacred shard legendary event, right? So the one that just passed and you could, like if you pulled a legendary, you got a free legendary. I didn't do that. Now that is good value if you are close to Mercy, but I was not close to Mercy. I'm actually, I think only about 7 shards into my Mercy. So I didn't pull shards here. The other reason I didn't pull shards is because I know that there is a guaranteed Freya chance coming our way in the future from a deck of fate, and that will probably require shards. And I'm assuming it's going to take about 20 or 21 sacred shards. That would be on par with other events that we've seen. As far as ancient shards and void shards are concerned, I only really pull them at certain times. Void shards only during 2x events. Ancient shards usually during things like what's going on right now. We have the champion chase and we've got a 2x event. I would also pull sacred shards during a 2x event, but I rarely overpull. So for instance, if I'm doing a summon rush for a fusion event, that's another time I pull shards, and I have to pull 5 or 6 sacred shards, that's all I pull. I stop. It doesn't matter if I hit or I miss. I never rage pull more shards. You can't afford to do that. And in fact, there are times where I will pass up a 2x event if I know that I'm going to need that stockpile of shards for a fusion or a Titan event in the near future. So that is basically the answer for how I get all of these shards. I absolutely am free to play. You can do this yourself. It takes a while. My account is pretty advanced. It wasn't always like this. It did take me a while to get to this point where I could do this every month, but I can now complete every single fusion and every single Titan event if I am careful. If I get a little bit discombobulated, if I accidentally pull too many shards, I can sometimes pay the price. The other thing you'll notice is that stack of gems I've got up in the corner. I hoard gems for a lot of reasons, but one of which is you can buy ancient shards with gems, and sometimes that can get you out of a jam that you get into as a free-to-play player, because there really are no escapes, right? There's no safety net. When you're a free-to-play player, if you make a mistake, you cannot go into your wallet, pull out the credit card, and buy your way out of it. You just have to live with it, which can be awful. So I use those gems sort of as a safety net, and I don't really feel comfortable when it drops below 5,000 or 6,000 gems, although sometimes I have to dip into it. So that is the answer for any of you who have asked me that question. Now let's go ahead and look at the champion chase board. This is my champion chase board. I will not be competing for the Odin Faefather. That's just way out of reach for me. This actually isn't a bad board. It's only 8,300 so far. But again, we're only in the first day of the event. I expect this to probably end up somewhere in the 30,000 point range. That's typically what I see on my account. However, the reward track out here is pretty juicy. I do want all of these Thor Fey hammer points, whatever they're called. I want all of those. So I do want 5,500 points if I can get it. Now, one of the things that I like to do, if you haven't been here before, is I like to do a little bit of an expected return calculation just to give me an estimate of whether I'm ahead or behind the curve in terms of my shard pulls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a quick calculator here. Now I have 118 shards. I don't know if I'm going to pull all of them. My goal right now is 110. I'm going to pull 110. Not that I couldn't pull the last 8 or whatever, but I like 10 pulls. I like round numbers. And also, I'm not sure I'm going to need all of them. I may get more over the weekend, so I might end up pulling more than 118, but I'm going to start with 110. So there's a 16% chance of getting an epic on every shard, so I'm just going to multiply this by 16. And that's going to give me 17.6 epics as a return. I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by 250 points, which is how many points you get for an epic. I know you can't get fractional epics, but this is just an estimation. So 4,400 points, the rest of which are going to be the regular rares. I'm assuming I'm not going to hit a legendary. I may. That would bump me up. But let's assume we don't hit a legendary. So we're going to get about 90 rares. Going to be a little bit more than that. But let's go ahead and add the 900 points for the rares. And so the estimation is about 5,300 points, maybe a little bit more because of those extra rares that we just missed. So that would be just shy of the 5,500 points if I don't pull my last 8 shards. But for 110 shards, that's pretty good. I do, in fact, need this batch of 150 points. I have to get it. I have to get it. But it is a champion chase, so I'm not going to pull more shards than that. I can always go into my mystery shards if I need to. I can also go into my fragment summons. I have plenty of fragment summons that I could do. So if I don't have enough points, if I'm a little bit behind the curve, I could come in here and I could summon Basatha here, or one of my epics, Lady Erish or whoever, and get my points that way. Also remember, you get points from like the champions you get from campaign and stuff over the course of the weekend. So with almost 2.5 days left, I do have a cushion and I can decide where I want to get those final points if I don't get lucky enough to reach it from my 110 ancient shards, which we are now going to pull. Thank you for being patient. I know 6.5 minutes is a long time to wait to actually see some shard pulls, but here we go. Okay. No, we don't. I'm lying. I need Duchess. I need Kymar. Kymar is my most desired non-legendary, non-void legendary. So I need Kymar. I need a reset champion badly. I really, really need a Kymar. There are other good champions out there for me. I also don't have a Geomancer. If you don't know, I've been playing 3.5 years. I don't have a Geomancer. It doesn't hurt. Like, I'm okay without a Geomancer. I have more than enough champions on my roster to make up for it. But it would just be nice to check that box and have to, I could stop hearing about it from all of my Discord community who like to shout at me for not having a Geo. So that's it. Those are the champions that I'm hoping for Now let's go ahead and make some 10 pull. So we've got 11 of these today. Let's go ahead and see what we get. My luck has been awful lately. This whole year, it's been bad for ancient shards. I heat up like every 6 months for like 2 weeks, and that's it. And then I go cold again. It's been really bad this year. It's been worse than in the past. I had a little bit of a hot streak go like last month, but then that quickly cooled back off. So I'm not expecting much content creator luck today, but we did start with 2 epics, which in terms of points is very good. And now we're at 3 epics for 20 pulls, which is exactly on par, right? That's where we would expect to be. I don't care about any rares. I don't really care about any epics. The only epics that I would care about would be potential empowerment epics. I would like to see like a Deacon Armstrong I could empower, or maybe a Seeker or a Royal Guard or something like that. That would be good. We got a Mave here. You know what? Let me get myself out of the way. Sorry about that. All right. We're going to pull some more. Let's see it. Let's do it. Come on, game. Baroth. I actually think that might be new to the account. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sathalia. She's a dupe. She's a dupe. She's actually pretty good. She's not bad. I built her. I was really excited when I first pulled her. I built her. I was a little bit disappointed with her performance. I forgot about her for a while, and now she's actually doing a lot of work for me in Centranos. She does have an AoE buff strip. Okay, she also has a cleanse and an HP burn on the A1. So she's solid. I don't think she's like a game changer for really anyone at this point. But see, she certainly can be a contributor on a roster. So if you don't have a buff strip, or you don't have a good like support kind of cleanser, she's not an AoE cleanser. She's a single target cleanser, which is one of the reasons why you're not so excited about her. But she will become a faction guardian for me. And I do think Baroth is a new champion. So that's exciting. Points wise, I'm doing well. Points wise, I'm doing well. And now we're, the mercy counter is reset here, and we're up to 4 on the mercy counter. I wouldn't mind another gold. It's been a really, really long time since I've hit double gold on a 2x ancient event. We're doing well on the epics. 4 epics there. I like Trumbor. He's one of my kind of new favorite guys. I really enjoy him. We're going to keep pulling. Let's see another gold. That would be exciting. Still doing well on the epics. So we should be good points-wise, as long as we don't go into a blue tax hole here. Okay, so that's the 340. So that's just the 1 epic. 340 points. And again, I'm going to pull the 110 either way, even if we go past the point total. I guess I could scale that back. I don't like to over pull shards. I could scale that back. So maybe when I'll pull one more and then I'll go check my points just to see. Because if I can save 10 shards, I may as well save 10 shards. Annex, that's a good empowerment champion. Okay, so let's see where we stand. So we have 20 more shards to pull, but maybe not, right? Depending on where we are for the tournament. Let's see how we stand. How close are we to the 5,500? So we're at 5,020 points, which is basically right there, right? If we pull 2 more 10 pulls, we should get 3 epics, which would actually just put us over a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and pull that. And maybe if we can end up here, we might have a shot at some Relentless gear. That would be okay. But I'm definitely not going to pull more than that. So let's go ahead. We really need at least 2 epics. If we get 1 epic, we'll have to finish it off with mystery shards. So hopefully we don't get double blue taxed. Blue tax could be incoming. Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. It had to. That was the perfect moment for the blue tax to hit. Let's get one more 10 pull. And as long as we get 1 epic, we should be close enough that mystery shards could finish us off. But how about a gold? How about a last second gold? Last second gold? No. But we did in fact get our second epic there. So all in all, very good numbers. We're a little bit over what we need for those Thor Feyhammer points, but we ended up exactly that. So that 5,400 points that we kind of, I think it was 5,400 points that we estimated at the beginning, or 5,300. We got over that. We got 5,700. So a little bit ahead of the curve, which feels good. A little bit ahead of the curve. And that's always nice, even if you're just a few points ahead of the curve. And we're going to collect all those rewards and call it a night. And again, you know, this allows us to hold on to a few ancient shards. Any other ancient shards that we pull over the weekend, we're not going to pull. We're going to save this up for a Deck of Fate or another fusion event or something down the line. Now, I don't feel bad, by the way, if you want to go ahead and pull down to 0 during a 2x event, you certainly should, especially if your account is younger than mine. If you're in your first 18 months of an account, getting new champions is more important than holding on to shards like this, just 8 shards at this moment. My roster is stacked. My roster is absolutely stacked. So champions are not a bottleneck on my account. I'll go ahead and show you just how, you know, I've got tons of champions. I've got way more legendaries than I could ever build because I don't have books. Books are the bottleneck, not champions. So I've got tons of great champions. So I'm not really worried about getting a lot of champions. I would love a Kymar. Like a reset champion is really valuable to me. But I'm not just going to keep pulling to get roster champions because my roster is, for all intents and purposes, complete. Okay, so that is it for me today. Let me know in the comments below. First of all, did you hit? Did you hit on anybody good? Did you pull your most desired champion? Or maybe a surprise that you weren't expecting? I love to hear those stories. Or did you miss? And let me know those stories too. How many shards did you pull? And how bad was it? Because it has happened to all of us. And even though I hit gold today, I miss more than I hit. If you watch my videos, you know that's true. So I will happily commiserate with you if you had a bad day of shard pulling. But regardless of what it is, I hope you didn't rage pull. I hope you spent your resources wisely and that bodes well for your future. Anything else? Anything else, folks? If you want to let me know in the comments, definitely let me know what you thought about the recent work here on the channel, what you enjoyed. And if you have any suggestions for videos in the future, you can put those in the comments as well. Okay, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I have been Colred. I will see you in another video soon.